Hello and welcome. I'd like to give you a small demonstration of my Macintosh SE/30 case mod. First of all, before we actually turn on the Macintosh, let's take a look inside. As you can see, the inside of the Macintosh isn't completely original anymore. The mainboard has been replaced by this little thingy, which is the mainboard of a Seagate Dockstar, which has a 1.2 GHz ARM processor on it. This little PCB here is the Apple desktop bus to USB converter, which makes sure the Dockstar can talk to the original Macintosh mouse and keyboard. And this big PCB here is the display controller, which is connected to the Dockstar over USB, and it basically puts an image on the CRT. You can see here the original Macintosh CRT. Underneath that is the floppy drive, which is modified a bit to accept floppies, which are basically floppy enclosures with a USB stick inside. And underneath that are two hard disks, which give the Dockstar the storage it needs. At the moment it's just busy acting as a file server, but we can turn on the Macintosh emulation and see what it does. So that's the first boot sound always gets garbled. I'm not quite sure why. The rest of the sound is okay, but that first sound really doesn't sound right. I just turned it on by pressing the on button here on the keyboard, the way the later Macintoshes could be turned on too. Okay, so the Mac is done checking its memory and is now booting the system. The Macintosh is running system software 7.5.3, which is one of the latest versions that actually run on the Macintosh Classic family. So it's almost done booting. Let's see if we can start up some programs. First of all, to show that the graphics unit does its work and that the rest of the sound is okay, I'm gonna start Beyond Dark Castle, which is a game. And as you can hear, it works perfectly. You can even press play and it's playable. It's just as playable as it was on the original Macintosh. Yeah, cheesy sounds, I know. So, yeah, well, I'm not going to play the complete game for you, but so, as you can see, it works. I'm gonna quit now before I die. Ooh, I made the top score. Okay. So that's a game. The Macintosh emulation has a few tricks up its sleeve too. For example, it has two serial ports. One of which is connected to a Getty process on the underlying Linux system. So I can basically log in and I should get a bash prompt. And I should get a bash prompt on the underlying system, as you can see. And I can do everything I'm able to do over SSH. I can do in a Macintosh emulation too, which is fairly handy if, for example, the network is broken or something. So let's quit it. because the other serial port is connected to a PPP emulator, which basically means that the Macintosh emulation thinks it's connected to a modem, a telephone network and an ISP. Unfortunately, the browsers that run on this Mac are fairly old, so I can't show you, for example, my own website, but I can boot up Mosaic and it'll basically show it dials in right now, and Mosaic will basically show its original start page, which now is deprecated, but at least you can see it works. Yes, everything takes a while, but that's mainly because the original processor inside the Macintosh only runs at 16 MHz or something. We're sorry, but NSCA Mosaic's website is no longer active. A rough translation: why the hell are you using a browser that's this ancient? So let's quit it. Oh, quit is grayed out. No. Must be a good reason for it. It's basically old software, so... Yes. Okay, so that's basically the Macintosh emulation. Even while running the emulation, by the way, the Dockstar still is acting as a file server and you can access it by network. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to read more, if you haven't already, go to my site www.spritesmod.com and I'll see you there.